What's going on, guys? Kaiger here. The 3 new fairies have been added into the game on Korea, Japan, and Southeast Asia. We're going to check out their abilities, see what we think, and get hyped for it on Wednesday. Let's get into it. Alright guys, as a reminder, Natsu, the fire on the left, and Urza, the woman in the middle, are going to be the fire and holy banners running for the full 2 weeks, and Wendy on the right is going to be the free-to-play fairy that you get if you do the events in the game. We will have a weekly events video tomorrow when it all goes live. So, checking out Natsu's abilities. I checked all of their basics. None of their basics do anything special. All of these pictures are going to be in the description down below. Excuse me, on the Discord link down below. And first is we're talking about Natsu. And now we have level 8 fire, which is 105% bonus damage on the AoE every 24 seconds, as well as, remember, this attack is a guaranteed crit. So even though this is only 105%, which is still kind of a lot, it is multiplied because it's going to be a guaranteed crit, and you already obviously had this 50% crit damage. We also get 4% HP, which is actually going to be important when we talk about Natsu. So on his passive, we have Dragon Force. This ability triggers when you swap to Natsu. Increases your attack by 1% for 6 seconds. This is going to scale as we level it up. And if the owner's HP is under 50%, you get a 1% of your max HP shield, lasts for 10 seconds, and then this is every 30 seconds. This scales as we see. I don't have it all the way down here, but it scales. I think it maxes. It looks like it will max at 10% and 10%. 10% attack and 10% shield. And then we have his active, which is very interesting. Envelops the arms in flames, spins rapidly, creating a frenzied fire whirlwind that tears at the target. So this sounds like an AoE, but unsure if it's going to be AoE around you or kind of like a cone attack. Unsure. It's going to deal damage and silence the target for 2 seconds. If their HP is under 50%, it's a guaranteed crit. If your HP is under 50%, then it's 20% more crit damage. So this is really leans into the fire echo. I like it a lot. What we're going to see here is this is going to be one of the ones where we have a bonus effect at 2, 5, and 8. So at level 2, you get a 10% attack buff for 6 seconds when you trigger this. That means the damage itself is going to go up, as well as obviously the crit damage when that hits. At 5, the silence duration is increased by 2 seconds, so it's going to be a 4-second silence. We're going to have to see how quick it is. I'm going to be doing a full review and testing on him once his banner comes out. And we don't have the 8 right here. Wind. This is going to be windy. Its bonus is 70% more damage on single target, as well as 0.24% attack and defense per stack, up to 5 stacks. And the bonus stat is going to be 6% defense, which is actually not bad. Now, it's actually, they lean a little bit into her defense, while she is the free-to-play option, you'll kind of see that with her ability, but she's very interesting that she's going to be a very powerful PvE unit. So upon class switching, it doesn't say to her and it doesn't say out of her, but it's every 30 seconds. When you swap classes, you get attack, defense, and HP regeneration for 6 seconds, which is a heal. Remember her in the show, she does wind, but her wind can also heal people. So 2% attack, 2% defense, and 0.2% HP regeneration. I'm assuming this is max HP. And then if you times that by 6, you're looking at, what is that, 1.2% HP, but it scales, as you see. It literally doubles at level 2 and goes up. So does the attack and defense percent, it doubles as well. And then her active is pretty interesting. It breaks the sky, hitting the target and dealing damage. Applies vulnerable to wind for 6 seconds, and effective against players. This is going to be very similar to Winter Cherry, giving them a wind weakness, which is very powerful, and it's obviously only PvE, but you have another option. And then also 10% of the damage dealt by this skill is converted to HP, so it's also a heal. I like how they really went into what she is in the show, which is very interesting. And then upsettingly, no added effects on 2, 5, or 8 on her ability, but she's the free-to-play fairy, so we don't know how that's going to go. As a reminder, we still don't know if it's going to use the same stones that we've been using for the other ones, which is the purple one for holy, red one for fire, and probably if they do that, then it'll be a green one for windy. That's what I'm assuming, so I'm holding on to. Currently I have 4 copies of the holy ones for Urza. We'll see how that goes. And then Urza is the interesting one, because there's a lot of question marks in the air for her. Her passive is a major question mark. So this skill activates when switching to Urza. No cooldown anywhere. No time limit anywhere. Damage dealt by Urza current class skills increased by 1.5%. So this is a weird wording, but it sounds like whatever class that Urza is active on, that class has a permanent skill buff. This is going, if this is how it works, she's going to be a permanent top league fairy, just for no matter what her active does, right? This passive alone makes her good for top league. And it looks like it scales 1.5% per. So plus, we're at 6 at 9%. That's 9% damage boost. That's really good. And then her active, Heavenly Wheel, Armor Form, instantly summon a large number of swords, wide range chain attack, while dashing forward to the target, deals damage. If the skill hits only one target, 20% more damage. When the skill is released, the owner's defense increased by 30% for 6 seconds, and attack is boosted by an amount equivalent to 10% of your defense. So you get attack and defense, but you get defense and then you get attack based on your defense. And at level 2, ignores 30% of the target's defense based on the owner's current defense value. That part doesn't make sense. Damage dealt ignores 30% of target's defense based on the owner's current defense value. It sounds like based on your defense, whatever metric they're using, if you have enough defense, it'll ignore 30%. It sounds like it's a scaling ignore defense. This wording is very confusing to me. At 5, buff duration increased by 2 seconds. And at level 8, if only one target is hit, damage increased by 40%. Attack is increased by 20% of the owner's defense. So more attack. Running back, just checking out their stats real quick. Natsu gives attack, tenacity, block, and crit. Good stats here, especially with crit being the highest. With fire, that's very, very good. Wind, break, and block. With her primarily being a PvE unit, having that crit is nice, but it's too low on here. If they flipped the crit and block, it'd be fine. And Urza, defense, tenacity, break, block. Especially with her giving you bonus percent defense and then turn that defense into attack. This defense is effectively attack. And block and break being in the highest numbers is really good. I actually think I remember what the bonus effect of... I remember what this did at level 8. It doubled the effect. So, as an example, it doubled this last part down here. Not doubled, it's plus 20%. If the target's HP is below 50%, so at the level 8 version, if they're below 70%, this is a guaranteed crit. And if your HP is below 70%, crit damage increased by, I think this part doubles to 40%. I'll have it posted on the Discord with all the effects. But very interesting, as I said. Wendy is going to be a very good PvE fairy. Definitely a good niche for her, being a winter cherry option. Natsu is... Fire has primarily been a PvE monster, but I think Dragon Slayer Secret Art, Crimson Lotus, Exploding Flame Blade, I think this is going to give him some staying power in PvP, as well as his attack bonus and shield, if he's under 50% when swapping, is also going to give fire some relevance for PvP. And Urza is a must-have if this passive works the way it sounds like. Even if it's... I can't read it anyway besides with no duration or cooldown. I can only read this as a flat damage increase. Her actual skill itself, kind of lackluster, but the passive is monstrous for PvP. Let me know what you guys think down below. Till next time, guys.